Hello there, Capricorn. It's time for a abundance and prosperity reading. I'm Michele B, by the way. If you resonated with the title of this video, then there's a pretty good chance that there's something in there in the messages for you. But I'm going to go ahead and get started with a overview card of what the direction of the reading is going to take for talking about that. And by abundance and prosperity, I mean your resources, the things you create, your physical body, so the money, the sensuality, the good health, the good food, and it's really everything that you need in order to feel free, in order to feel at peace, in order to feel relaxed in the world, in order to feel satisfied with where you are right now in your physical being. So it's all good, right? All the good aspects of the stuff, right? So a message that I'm getting for those Capricorns who resonate with this is the Four of Pentacles, and that is the energy of holding on to and hoarding. And nobody wants to hear that they're being a hoarder. Nobody wants to hear that. But I feel like it's a fear-centered. It's a fear-centered energy. He doesn't have a sad face, but because he thinks he's doing what's best. This guy thinks he's like, I'm being sensible by holding on to my resources. And there's a time for being sensible. But we need to remember, we do need to remember that what we need is relative. That if we look down our list of what's flowing, of the resources that are flowing out of us and the resources that are coming in, we know that we have a little bit more that we can give. We know we have a little bit more that we can flow out. So we do have to have a healthy connection with that. You've heard the saying that it takes money to make money, and that's kind of true, in that it's kind of like greasing the skids. You put a little bit out into the world, and then it ends up flowing back. Money is energy that has to flow in and out, in and out, and as long as you're holding on to it, it has a hard time getting in. It's like a momentum. It's a momentum that happens. And as long as it's always staying in, it has a hard time flowing out. I have some pieces of advice that are from my logical mind, but I do want to see what the cards have to say for advice going forward for you. I just noticed on this card that this guy has two different colored shoes. It's like he's missing a shoe. Or he's got like a sock, and he said it's that red sock underneath. I see that he's kind of missing a shoe, and I'm wondering what y'all think about that. Interesting. I never noticed that before. Why is he missing a shoe? All right, what do we got here? So momentum is stalled. So it's trying. The cards are trying to say you can go ahead and give your advice for those Capricorns who need to hear it. All right. So my advice is it has helped me get momentum flowing in my monetary resources in the past, is that if I have a trickle of money coming in, no matter how small it is, even if it's not enough to pay your bills, it's like a rule of thumb that I was given as magic. To always, no matter how small the amount of money is, to always put 10% in a bowl or in a bank account, whatever it is, 10% that's just going to go for you. That's just for you to spend on whatever it is that you want, even if it's $5 for a cup of nice coffee that you'd like to have. Just be like, okay, so I'm just putting this in, so you can let it build up over time, or you can spend it right away. Either way, 10% of whatever income you have goes to that. 10% goes to charity. You find a charity or a charitable thing that you can give the money to, whatever amount, no matter how small, it goes to that charity. $5 taken over to the food bank. It's $5 worth of food. They're always grateful for it. It gets things flowing. And then finally, the final 10% goes into a savings account for you to not touch except for a real emergency. This is very hard, that 30%. You're like, how am I going to survive if I can't even pay my bills now? How am I going to survive on 70%? Well, if you're not paying your bills now anyway, you might as well put money into those three things. So it doesn't matter, right? Your bills will always end up being paid. Things will always end up working out for you, but especially that it gets things flowing. You have a place to put it besides just your bills, besides going willy-nilly. And what it ends up doing is it helps you to pay attention to what's coming and going. You're very careful about what's coming and going. This is for this, this is for this, this is for this. It always works for me. And sometimes I forget, and I forget to do those three 10% investments. When I do that, the momentum on the energy flow slows down. It always happens. So I advise Holly Alexander on Audible with it's called Magic Money, and so she's the one that suggested it to me when I listened to that audiobook. There's three books, Magic Money, Advanced Magic Money, and Magic Money Mastery. But she starts out with, in the first book, with those 10% in having a responsible relationship with making sure that the economy is flowing in a healthy way. So let's get one final card for you, Capricorn, before we finish out. That's just what I was told that I had to tell you. This. Okay, I'm just going with it. All right, let's get that momentum flowing. Is this an outcome? Is this another advice card? Whoa, another one of those. Really look at that. I'm also seeing beyond just getting the momentum flowing at this moment. There's a long-term story behind the fear of letting go of money that was inspired or that was programmed into you at a young age. There's some scarcity issues that were programmed into you when you were a child. Your parents probably had some kind of scarcity, and so you were like, I will never be in that position, therefore I will hold on to my money. Okay, please find any resource that you possibly can in reprogramming your mind for economic abundance instead of scarcity. Get to that childhood root and weed it out so that you can be in a place of abundance. That subconscious programming will always haunt you in preventing you from living in full abundance until you can switch your mind to being able to see all the resources that are out there, and it's only limited by your own creativity. It's only limited by your own blocks, your own internal blocks. That's definitely happening. So you can get things moving, even though you have internal blocks. You still can get things moving, but in the long run, you're still going to always come back to that subconscious programming of scarcity if you don't address it. So that needs to happen. There's lots of resources on YouTube for unblocking abundance flow happening, and that's all free, and it's right here for you. I know you're watching YouTube right now, so you have it. But I really loved You're a Badass at Making Money by Jen Sincero. If you like a book to read, there's some really great resources, or foods for thought, and then there's also just affirmations and journaling to get to the root of what's going on there. And this is where I leave off, Capricorn. Love ya. If you're not already subscribed, please do so that you can get so you can be in the know about the monthly and weekly check-in readings. And I will see you later.